Pat Nathan interview coming down in 3, 2, 1. Saturday night get-together is happy to have a special guest tonight. Patrick Naphin, speaking to us from Regina. Welcome to the Saturday night get-together.
Dennis, it's a pleasure to be on your show. And it's a pleasure to be back with GX again. I'm so happy to be with you on this St. Patrick's Day program because, as you know, we Irish do celebrate a bit on St. Patrick's Day.
Well, I know that a lot of the nationalities, such as the Germans and the Ukrainians, they get a little jealous around March 17th.
Well, I'm proud to say that I know your boss, too. I worked with your boss for a number of years here in Regina, and before that in Regina, or Yorkton. George Gallagher, he's a great Irishman, of course. And some years ago, he was over to Ireland.
No, he didn't.
Get a card and several things back from Ireland. And he was talking about the beauty of the land. He said, Pat, you never saw so many shades of green in all your life. He said, you'd go out of your mind if you were over here. But he had a wonderful time over there, and I hope I have a good health, and maybe I'll go over there myself one day.
Well, you've always been talking about it, so why don't you jump in the plane or on the boat and get over there?
Well, I'd rather go by here, but the two Irishmen, they had an argument about how they were going to go over. And one was afraid to fly, and the other one, he wanted to go by boat. And they tossed a coin, and eventually they were flying. And this terrified Irishman was saying, how high are we now? How high are we now? And his friend said, now listen, he said, be quiet, he said. If we were going over by ship, he said, you wouldn't be asking the captain how deep the water was.
That's right.
But anyway, the name of Naphin, I was talking to my doctor the other day, Dr. Kelly here in Regina. He spent more time showing me pictures of Ireland and so on, and telling me where the name Naphin came from. And we were born, or my ancestors were born, in County Mayo, which is just before you get into the north of Ireland. And our name is, as we spell it, is Naphin. But actually the correct spelling is Nephen, Nephin. And that's in County Mayo in southern Ireland, of course.
Well, I understand there's even a mountain, Naphin. Is that correct?
I beg your pardon?
A mountain called Naphin in that area?
That's County Mayo, and the name is Nephin. In the areas, it's on the map of Ireland. I got a map of Ireland with the Geographic magazine, and it distinctly shows where we came from.
Well, that's great. You know, as long as people know that Nathan's Irish and not French or German or Scandinavian.
Article here to tell you where St. Patrick came from.
Well, that's what I understand.
The patron saint of Ireland, St. Patrick, was actually born in Britain. At the age of 16, he was kidnapped and sold as a slave in pagan Ireland. For 6 years, he labored as a swineherd. That would be the same as a sheep herder. During his time, his soul grew in holiness as he entered the bodily hardships of bondage. At the age of 22, Patrick escaped his captors and made a journey back to the land of his birth. However, it was not long before Patrick was called to the priesthood, and when he was consecrated a bishop, he was sent back to Ireland. And over the next 3 decades, Patrick traveled the length and breadth of the land and converted more than 100,000 people to Christianity and founding hundreds of churches. Stories of his driving all the snakes from the Emerald Isle and using a shamrock to explain the doctrine of the Trinity are probably legends, but he left an autobiography which attests to his humility, and his relics are to be found in the Cathedral of Down, as D-O-W-N. So there you have the story of St. Patrick and where he originated.
Well, he was, you said, not really a snake chaser, is that correct?
I beg your pardon?
He didn't chase the snakes out of Ireland?
Well, they claim he did. They say my friends of mine who've come from Ireland directly lately, I asked them that question. They say they've never seen a snake until they came over here, and they said all the snakes live in the United States.
Well, there's a few around here, too, but You just... I'm
Oh,
sitting across from a couple right now, as a matter of fact.
beg your pardon?
I'm sitting across from a couple good-looking snakes.
Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
Not Harry O'Kerr, is it?
No, Harry's not here. It's,
Oh, I see.
No, dead Nevin.
How was
And a
your
young
friend
chap
George,
by the-
your friend George, the owner of the place?
Well, he floats in and out. Of course, Lyle Walsh is the
Well,
general
say
manager.
hello to him, too.
I sure will.
And best wishes for St. Patrick's Day to Harry O'Kerr, Ron O'Waddell, and Phil O'DeVos.
Oh, yes, you worked with a couple of those fellows in...
That's right.
That
I
must have
taught
been
them
a-
everything they know.
You did?
Yeah.
Well, I can believe that you taught Waddell everything he knows. But I don't think DeVos is teachable, however.
You know, I heard a funny one the other day that's very timely. It has to do with the 649.
Yeah.
This old Irishman, he was about 85, 86 years old, and his health wasn't good. He had a bad heart and so on, and he won the 649. His relatives knew he won it. They were afraid to tell him because he might drop dead, you know. But anyway, they thought of an idea to get old Father O'Flaherty, his good friend, to go over and tell him about it. Father O'Flaherty went over and he says, Pat, now, he said, did you ever buy these 649 tickets that are going around? Sure, Father, he said, I buy them every damn time, but I never win anything. But he said, now, tell me, a man of your age and your disability and so on, what would you do if you won a couple of $1 million? Faith, now, the old man said, if I won a couple of $1 million, Father, he said, I'd be giving you half of it. And the priest dropped dead of a heart attack. That's a good story, isn't it, eh?
That's a good one. That's all right. Yeah. Well, we have a couple songs that we're going to play during the course of your interview, and we picked one by they're a group called the Carlton Show Band, and I think you introduced those on occasion in Yorkton and in Regina when they were touring the area. Are they in Regina this year for St. Patrick's Day?
They're in Regina for St. Patrick's Day, and as a matter of fact, I have a green top hat autographed by the Irish Rovers and the Carlton Show Band.
Well, maybe you could lend that to me one of these days.
Yeah, and I'm sure it would be nice to hear them sing a song for us, eh?
Well, we're going to play that song. It's called The Leprechaun.
Good.
All right.
Terrific.
The Enchanted Tree. I was walking in the woods one day when weary stopped to rest beneath an emerald green oak tree, truly nature's best. I lay there very lazily when someone called my name. I turned and looked at every tree. The answer never came. Hello, the voice said again. It was squeaky and high in tone. And then I saw a figure small, the size of my finger bone. I rubbed my eyes in wonder. Could be, I thought, I'm mad? No, there he was before me, a man in green clothes clad. He smiled a cheery smile at me and said, hello there, lad. I forced a grin and mumbled, if you're real, I sure am glad. 'Tis Irish luck, he said to me, that I've run into you. I think I've gone and broke me leg, and if you can fix it, do. I fixed him up with splint and cane. By that time it was dawn. He winked and said, 3 wishes, lad, from Pat the Leprechaun. An Irish blessing. May the road rise to meet you, and may the wind be always at your back. May the sun shine warm upon your face, and the rains fall soft upon your fields. And until we meet again, may God hold you in the palm of his hand.